All right. Thank you. Thank you, Swapna Master, for a warm welcome. All right. Let me share my screen. Um, all right. You're able to see my screen, right? Okay. Awesome. All right. Before we start our session, I want to extend the deepest gratitude to Patriji and the entire Meditation Magic team here for doing amazing service. So thank you all for joining as well. So today's topic, stress management. So how can we change from chaos to clarity and leading with a great purpose, with having a great priority in life? So that is going to be our topic today. So let's understand what is stress first. So stress is a natural reaction of our body whenever we run into a very difficult situation or a challenge or a setback that we experience either at workplace or in family life. Little bit of stress is definitely okay. We all need to have a little bit of stress. Otherwise, we will never come out of our comfort zone and we will never be able to learn new things or do certain things for ourselves or for our family or for the society. So, a little bit of stress is okay, but when the stress really gets uncontrolled, that is where it can really impact our physical health, emotional health, and behavioral health. And what happens in return? It has a lot of negative impacts, right? When the physical health is not there, automatically you're completely drained out of energy. What happens when you are drained? You won't be able to do the things that you need to do. And obviously, your family is also going to get. Let's take an example as a mother, right? So when as a mother, mother is a core of the family. Yes, fathers are also core, but mother also has a very big responsibility in taking care of kids. When mother's energy is very less, when the physical health is not so great, what happens? The food that we cook will have less energy. And we don't have great energy to take care of our kids as well. So it is very important. So stress has direct implications on various factors, physical, emotional, behavioral. So that is the reason it's very, very important to manage the stress, whether in professional life or personal life. And this is one of my favorite topics as well. So I'm going to give a couple of examples throughout the session. So the goal of our session is it's not about being getting stressed. Stress is there, it's inevitable. Every one of us go through stress, but it's important on how to manage your stress levels. Okay, moving on to the next slide.
Pratyusha,
So what happened?
do not mean to interrupt. The sharing is showing as your background, not on the screen.
Oh, is it? Okay, let me
It's showing. Yeah. Just wanted to call that out.
hold on. Yeah, thanks for calling that out, actually. Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, we can see your screen now. Yes.
Awesome. All right. So as we talked about stress now, let's see the impacts of stress a little deeper. So when the stress is more, so what happens? We get into the frustration, we get irritated very easily because we're not managing the stress. And when we're getting frustrated, when we're getting irritated, obviously we don't take wise decisions. We don't speak with clarity, and our personal and professional relationships will also get impacted. Apart from the physical health, emotional health, and all of that, so relationships will also get impacted because we just are not in a very balanced state. And the loss of, so a lot of times, especially working professionals, as an example, when there is a very stressful day at work, we come back home and we are at home, but we are not being very present. We are not in the moment. So family members talk different things, but we are just in our own shell, or we are in our own world, not paying attention. Basically, we are not mindful when we are in a very stressful situation. So what happens? The family might feel that we are ignoring them. We are not paying very close attention, even though the kids really wants to talk to us. So automatically your listening skills, your presence, your emotional regulation, everything is impacted when the person is really on in the stress mode. Okay, all right. So now let's talk about how we can manage stress. So there are two ways that we can manage stress. One of them is a physical energy. You might be wondering, well, how stress is related to physical energy. Physical energy has a very key role in managing stress. Their physical energy, we can definitely get it by eating the right food. One of the key factors, especially when I get stressed out, I try to conserve myself, right? So the very quick and fast thing is taking a sugar bite. So the minute you consume sugar, it satisfies you, it consoles you, making you feel very relaxed for the given moment. But when you take sugars, what is happening is your blood circulation, you're happy for that instant moment, but automatically your blood circulations and everything is going to reduce. Your digestion is going to get impact. Your overall physical health is also going to get impact. Different people have different ways to indirectly manage the stress in a negative way. Some people try end up overeating, right? Some people end up eating sugars. There are different patterns people follow. So we have to be very mindful and watchful on how exactly we are reacting when we are going through the stress. So that's an important factor on how we can control that by maintaining right food and getting a good sleep and exercising. Any form of exercising is great, be it yoga, if you would like to run, walk, strength training. Some people like going for aerobics. Some people love dancing. Dancing is also a great way of releasing your emotions and also getting your physical energy as well. So when we have this physical energy, what means is you'll have more more time, and you will be able to do a lot of things when you have great physical health. And at the same time, lot of us, we are always in a rush mode, especially in the morning hours. We try to rush and eat a little, eat food, and then just get out of home, right, to work or where dropping kids. But it's very important not to rush. The reason is when we are rushing, we are not being mindful. So rushing itself means that we are not aware of what is the way we are acting at that particular moment, and we are kind of losing that energy. If you're rushing to eat breakfast, it's okay to rather skip that breakfast. The reason I'm saying is when you're rushing and eating, you're not eating mindful. When you're not eating mindful, which means you're not really getting the energy that you're supposed to get through that food. And if any of you have been following Dr. Hegde, he's a pretty famous and a successful cardiologist. And he emphasizes so much on food actually. As an adult, we really don't need that much food actually. When we overeat, what is happening is we consume a lot of energy to digest the food. So it's very important to even eat very balanced food. Very little food is also good as long as we eat nutritious food. So these are some of the various techniques that we can leverage to improve our physical energy. And recently, I actually happened to go through a book which is called I Am Fine Spirit, which is actually written by a Japanese author. He talks about how to lead a happy life. And in that book also, he explains about how to improve your stress. And one of the way to improve your stress levels is to exercise. Because when you exercise, you have more energy. When we have more energy, we take wise decisions. So I just want to, call that's a great book if any of you are interested. He talks about like his main interest and passion is about conveying to the people on how to lead a very happy life. All right. So, okay, moving on to the next way of improving your overall stress is your life force energy, which is called prana or a cosmic energy. So, all of us are getting the prana energy today, whether we meditate or we don't meditate. So, how are we getting? We are actually breathing, inhaling, and exhaling out. So, that's how we are getting a prana energy. But there are ways to improve our prana or cosmic energy. As we are all in the meditation path, one of the greatest way to increase our prana energy is the focus on breath. So definitely meditation increases your energy levels because we get a lot of cosmic energy. Now coming to how can we conserve this energy that we get through meditation? Because we get the energy, but we lose that energy. How do we lose that energy? By focusing on not so great good things. We try to, when we look at good things in others and neglect the negative aspects of others, we are conserving the energy. When we look at the great things that we have in life, we are actually uh, conserving our energy. We are not losing. And speaking very mindfully, a lot of times what happens is we just speak when we don't need to speak. So that to the context we have to speak, and we have to be very aware if we really have to speak in that situation or not. Because when we speak more, what happens is we are kind of losing that energy as well. O- Yeah, obviously at work we have to speak. I'm not denying it, but observe the situation. That is that your area, is that going to add value there and impact by speaking to that situation. And then mindfulness is another great practice of conserving your energy. So the more mindful we are, when I say mindfulness, it's being in the present moment. Any task that we do, when we do it mindfully, a lot of times what we do is like we talk on phone and we try to do various things. It is okay to do occasionally, but most of the times, if we can do things very mindfully, which means one task at a time, what happens is we are very focused on that particular task. When we are focused on that particular task, we do it more efficiently, more, and our productivity increases. And also, you can experiment and see, and that particular task get done in a very few minutes or few hours rather than how you used to do it in the past. So I would really like encourage you all to experiment this on mindfulness. Anything, be it cooking, be it at your workplace, do one task at a time, especially for a people who have to do a lot of context switching in various roles, either at profession or in your personal life. And I experimented it. So I'll just quickly touch base on this. I always used to come back from work and then I used to feel like, oh, I have to do so many different things now, right? I have to either prepare for dinner or I started exercising actually over the last few years. So I have to exercise, I have to take shower, I have to feed kids, all of those things. So it was always in the back of my mind now. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. I only have 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I have to get things done. But when I'm being very mindful, I was able to get things done within not even 2 hours. Actually, I was able to get things even more faster. And I had some leisure time to take care of myself, think, introspect, and do various things. So, mindfulness plays a very key role in conserving our energy and even be able to save some time for ourselves. Okay, so that is what I'm going to talk about here. All right, so now coming back to priority and clarity. So we get into a trap. So the society, there's a lot of judgment on success, and we try to compare ourselves to achieve different things. I'm not against success. Success is great based on the definition of success. Success varies from person to person, right? Depending upon your career, depending upon what you really want in life. So success is great, but sometimes what happens is we want 10 different things. You want to be great performer at work. You want to be a great mother. You want to focus on both your kids at the same month, same 6 months duration. You want to parallelly do a certification exam. You want to run around with taking kids to various classes. You want everything at once. Everything is possible, but not we cannot start everything at one time. We have to distribute the load, we have to plan it accordingly, and we have to prioritize accordingly. So this month I have a lot of work, so I'm not going to focus on my certification. So let me put that certification on hold. December time is when, things are really going to slow down at my work. So December 2nd or 3rd week, I'm going to use that for my certification exam. So that kind of prioritization. Because what happens is, like, when without a prioritization, I've seen many people, they look for success in career, and they end up having success, which is really great, but their family life is falling apart. When the family life falls apart, even though we get success at work, we are really not happy. So a maintaining of a balance is very important. And how do we make it balance? Is to set the priority. Out of those 10 things, what is your topmost priority? And how do we want to balance it out? Can three things be taken out parallelly? By making sure, how do we segregate, how do we plan accordingly? So those are some things that we have to lay out with very clear priority and clarity of what we want in the 3 months, 6 months, and a long-term vision. And then obviously energy makes a big difference. When we have more energy, we can plan it accordingly. We can, lay out the path forward for a long-term and a short-term vision for ourselves. Okay, all right. So that is where, so success is definitely possible, provided we plan it accordingly, we prioritize accordingly, and we execute it with a lot of clarity. All right. And then mastering the morning routine. So a lot of, if you might have seen a lot of TEDx talks or a lot of YouTube sessions on very successful people, and most of the successful people have a great morning routine. And having a great morning routine, we will be able to manage our stress in a very great way. So I experimented with nature walk. So as part of the nature walk, depending upon which city you are, and how is the weather, you could go for a morning walk and try to experiment. So what happens is, it was very soothing for me, and the community roads were very quiet. People are, getting ready. So the roads are pretty quiet, and the birds are making some beautiful sounds. So we enjoy that. So our day really goes very smooth. So that is something that I've experimented myself. And obviously, affirmations and visualizations are also great way techniques. A lot of people do that in the morning hours. And I'm sure you have heard about all these affirmations and visualizations in the past few sessions as well. So those are all great techniques. And some successful people, they read motivational books in the morning. We can do it in morning or evening. I'm more of a night person when coming to reading books, but some people do that in the early hours as well. And exercise, as we discussed in the previous slide, it definitely increases your physical energy. And if you exercise in the morning, we get good hormones, right? So all the positive vibes, and our day also really goes pretty well. Meditation is a great tool, since all of us are in this meditation path, especially meditation in the early hours definitely can, give us a very good control on ourselves. When we control our emotions in a better way, are definitely we'll be able to control, not really control the external situations, but basically accept and respond in the right way throughout the day. And obviously, plant-based diet. If any of you would like to experiment, if you're already in a plant-based diet, which is great, but if not, if you want to experiment for a 41-day challenge, you can see the amazing energy level shift that is going to happen. I myself was a meat eater, and it's been almost like 3.5 years now. The plant-based diet is a great way to improve your energy levels. Your body feels really light. You have more energy levels. You'll be able to do great things for yourself and your family as well. Okay, and there's also a beautiful book called Miracle Morning. So these are some of the techniques that the book also describes, but I would really recommend you to read that book as well, to see how that can make an impact. All right, moving on to the conclusion. So managing stress, as we discussed, stress is not something that we can avoid. It it is going to be as part of our life. But managing stress is very important. When we manage the stress, you're empowering yourself. You're able to have a very clear direction on how you want to execute your short-term goals and your long-term goals. You can gain more energy and enthusiasm and do a lot of things for yourself, for your family, for extended family whenever they need some help. Because until we really take care of yourself or ourselves, we won't be able to have time to help others. So that is the reason where you will be able to operate at a very increased capacity when we manage our stress. And definitely the consistency is the key here. And that's when the magic happens, whether it's a consistency of a meditation practice or whether it's a consistency of affirmations, exercise. All of these are definitely going to improve our performance either at professional or at personal level. Okay, so this is where I want to conclude here. And I also want to conclude one more thing. So happiness is something that, we all want, right? Happiness is not just by getting a great title or a great family life or just great spouse or being very successful at professional life. So we shouldn't be attached to the end result as long we can continuously be in a happy state. How can we be in a happy state? It's just by our thought process, being very positive and looking forward that things will always going to be happen in a great way. Everything is going to be a learning. Any setback, any challenge that we experience in life is a learning that we have to get it. That is something that we have planned ourselves before coming onto this planet Earth. So there is a learning that we have to take out of that and take that learning and move on. So, and when we look at that way, happiness is a continuous journey, right? So that is what I want to, end the session here. Any questions?
Before we move on to Q&A, thank you, Pratyusha ji. It was a wonderful session, and thank you for giving us these key points. Even one of our participants was asking about the book name, so if you can share that, I think it will be great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. One of the book name is Miracle Morning, and the other one is I Am Fine Spirit.
Okay. Thank you. And yes, thank you for sharing these key points about physical exercise, which is very important. And then we all know that there's a lot of life force around us, and it's important how to conserve. And thank you for sharing tips on how we can conserve. We often don't realize like where these energy leaks happen. And by being in awareness, I think it definitely helps us to conserve this energy better. And I really love the power of priority and clarity. Basically, how we can maintain balance by setting priorities in life and mastering the morning routine. I am also a person who love to go in nature walks, and I have seen that it immensely helped in staying more positive and calm throughout the day. And definitely, I resonated very well with it. And thank you for recommending these practices and telling us how important it is for everybody to be consistent. Every consistency is the key. That's the reason they say, I guess, right? So yeah, amazing session, and thank you so much. We have Srinivas Peramji here. I would like to invite him to share his personal meditation journey and experience with. And after that, we will move on to the Q&A session, Pratyusha ji. So, friends, like having real